Last time on Deconverted Man.
Bonsley, come back. I love... No.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Okay, so that's the end of this analysis. For now, to be continued, we've got 15 plus question mark, exclamation, and 2 plus question mark. And until lobsters are pancakes, we have to porcupines.
And now for the stunning conclusion.
Deconverted Man here. What do you mean I just made cats explode? Nobody's gonna remember that joke. Anyways, on to the video again.
They have higher morals than you. Now mind you, the church in the past with crusades and Salem witch hunts and a few other things like the Inquisition were transgressions of the past, right? But they're just following the survival of the fittest. They're just following natural selection.
Okay, so the church and religious people that were part of the church during the Crusades and Inquisition and all that other horrible stuff, they were just following survival of the fittest. So even though they have higher morals than the rest of us, they don't, because they're doing the same thing that you're accusing us of doing. So then that's... how does that make them have higher morals again?
We rule. If you don't want us to rule, we'll take it by force mentality. These are the things that you teach in your academia.
So we teach in academia how to take by force. I guess if you're in the military, kind of-ish, sort of. But by academia, I'm guessing he's referring to school, you know, where we teach biological evolution, and that's all about survival of the fittest, even though that's totally not what it's all about, which makes this not even a half-truth. It makes it... makes it an outright lie. Okay, call. I don't even see the red phone on the screen. Maybe he won't call this one time. That would be nice for a change. Anyways, so moving on before he has a chance to call.
So what is the problem then? Oh, you don't believe in the mystical qualities. Neither do I. Well, some things. To kill with a magic potion. But what you would call alchemy or science, I would call magic potion. This is a change of the language.
Hello. Hey, how's it going? Ow. Fine. What do you want? Oh, never. Why do I always ask that? I know what you want. You want to be in my video and ruin it again. Okay, you're in my video. You've ruined it again. You happy now? No. That means yes. Okay, we get it. Yes, you say the opposite sometimes. You're worse than that door in the labyrinth that she totally got right. She beat the door, but yet she falls down the hole anyways. The other door was death. The other door was instant death? No, just death. Well, it's not instant then. No. So it is instant. Yes. So it's... wait. So wait. Okay, so the other door was just death. How do you know that? Oh, you're lying again! Anyways, what were we talking about? I couldn't understand a word he said! Oh, right. Let me, say it for you. Say it for you. Translate it for you. Is it time for Deconverted Man loses it? No, go away. I'm hanging up. Okay, so he said magic potion science. You call it science. I call it magic potion. It's just a change of the language. That's what he just said, or something like that. It's like I said, it's really hard to hear. So magic potions are now science. Yeah. Okay. And he also said, we don't believe in the mystical. He doesn't either. He doesn't. But he does. I mean, it's evident that he believes in something mystical. So, I don't know what that is, but it's pretty evident. At least, I'm getting the hint that it might be to do with the Christian Bible, but I'm not really sure. Back to the video.
A tincture, perhaps a poison, ground from, well, nightshade plant. Right. Or a massive hallucination, a confusion spell ground together with blue lotus, coating weapons as you marched on the battlefield, spilling blood. We don't even really have to kill anybody at that particular point in time, just slice them with some blue lotus on your blade. Right? They'd be seeing stars and hallucinations on the battlefield, and men would become demons and serpents and all manner of things with just a slight accentuation of armors with horns and such.
Okay, so he said blue lotus, poison, something battlefield, slice them, and that will cause hallucinations, and they'll see people turn into demons and serpents, but it's just an exaggeration. So I guess he's trying to explain ancient documents like the Bible or other mystical sort of documents like that. Mystical in the sense of mythology documents. By saying, well, you know, the stuff that's weird, that's supernatural, is actually just normal. What's happening is people are getting poisoned, people are dying and seeing things, and that's what's going on. Okay, I don't know how you would know that, but okay, it's a plausible explanation, but then how would we know what they saw before they died unless they told someone just before they died, and who were they telling before they died? So how would we know any of this? Plus, how do we know that they're being poisoned, and with a blue lotus? And do blue lotuses form a poison of some sort? These are all things that we would need to know, but we don't. So, this is a non sequitur.
So what is your issue, atheism, with the documentation? I've cleaned up the mess of history and taught the deeper poetry of things and mankind's transgressions over the years following the serpent for pet, of those who separated the moon from the sun and shown the difference between sacrifice and mercy.
So he's saying he's cleaned up history for us. So what's our problem? Atheism, which I guess he meant atheists. I'm a skeptic, so by that virtue, I'm also an atheist, so I guess I need to answer this question. It's not the bloodiness of the Old Testament that I rejected on. It's the fact that there's no corroborating evidence to support it that I rejected on. If there was other external sources of these stories, then I'd have something to go on, but there isn't, so I have to think that it didn't really occur. The fact of the matter is, we know that the Egyptians didn't have as many slaves as the Bible claims that they did. We have reasons to suspect that there might have been Jewish slaves, but far fewer number than what is claimed. We also have the problem that camels appear in the Old Testament, and camels were not domesticated at the time of the events that the Bible is supposed to be taking place. So we now have to remove all mention of camels from the book. What else are we going to find that needs to be removed out of the book? Well, anything that we don't have evidence for, external to the Bible, is things that we get to be skeptical of. And I would say get to be isn't even the right way to approach it. I'd say we must be skeptical about it. And this goes for anything at all. And when I have said this, the higher up legion of thinkers that are theologians will retort, well, if that's true, we'll have to be skeptical of certain philosophers in the past or certain other historical figures. To which I say, so what? What's the problem with being skeptical that they existed? There isn't any. There isn't any harm in being skeptical that any historical figure existed at all. Well, what about Washington? We have plenty of evidence of Washington. So there's really no reason to. But the farther back you go, the less evidence you're probably going to have. And you can be skeptical that this or that person existed. It doesn't hurt anything to do that, because you still have writings that they have been purported to write. You still have stuff that might be true about that civilization. And the more that you have about that civilization, the less skeptical you can be about that civilization. But the moment that there's something in there that doesn't fit with how we view reality is the moment that you kind of have to introduce some skepticism. So let's say somebody has writings about giants that came in and built their city. Well, we're going to be skeptical of that because we're thinking like giants. Well, upon further study and study of the ruins and studies of other things, we figure out that there were tall people, and this is what they refer to by giants, and we found their bones, etc., etc. Okay, now we have a better idea of what this means. It didn't mean giant in the way that we thought it did. But until we have that solution, that verification that it's not mythical, we have to treat it as if it is mythical. Maybe this is a myth story and not a factual story. Maybe there's some things based on myth. This one particular tribe of Indians had an ancient story about how they split their tribe, and that there was a large sheet of ice, there was a horn in the middle of the ice, and a child pulled up the horn and it cracked the ice, so one part of the tribe went one way, the other went the other way. And so the fact that there was ice in the story and the fact that there was ice in the past might be a link between the mythical story and what might have happened in reality. Maybe they did have to cross a lot of ice to get where they were going. Maybe there was a path that opened up to let them through. Now we need to follow the evidence where the evidence leads us, because although the story might be plausibly true, we don't have any reason to think it is true until we have the evidence. That is the skeptical approach. That is the approach we take to all of history. It's not the fact that the Bible is awfully bloody. That's not why I reject it. I reject it because there's no evidence to support it other than a handful of kings and a handful of locations. That's it. And the supernatural elements don't help. That's why I reject it. It's not that hard. It's not like, oh, you're rejecting it just because it's bloody. No, I'm not.
You say, turn the other cheek. To be a good Christian, right? The Christ also said, by every word of the law. He was soft, loving, merciful.
Okay, so turn the other cheek. The laws are still around, and Jesus was kind of a nice guy. Those are all your opinions, and as such, I get to dismiss them as being nothing more than your opinions. I don't see that when I read the text. I mean, I see the contradiction between, turn the other cheek, but yeah, let's get those who are against us, because the laws don't just mean the 10 Commandments. There's 614 commandments, maybe more in total. Okay, there's more than just those. So those aren't gone according to Jesus. And was he a nice guy? I don't know. I mean, he seems to have kind of bad advice for his followers. Don't worry about tomorrow. That doesn't seem like very good advice. Leave your dead behind. Let them bury themselves, which doesn't really make sense. Just follow me. Come on, it's better this way. Oh, that's just a parable. That's just a parable. Yeah. Maybe, but why in the world does this guy talk in parables? That's a problem, too. Why not just be crystal clear with your message? Oh, because he's hiding it from people. Because he doesn't want people to know. Why? Why doesn't he want people to understand? Because it's secret things, and it's mystical that way. Yeah, okay. So he's a charlatan. If he really existed. He was another charlatan going around saying things that sort of half made sense and people believed him. Kind of like this guy saying things that sort of kind of make sense and maybe somebody out there believes him. And there seems to be at least 2 or 3 people out there, according to the comments on his video, this one that I'm looking at, maybe others, they did too, that agree with this guy. That's scary. That anybody would agree with him. But that does show that anybody can agree with anybody based on absolutely nothing. Here's an idea. Why don't we just go with what's logically coherent and not just go with what somebody says?
In atheism, as you teach like clumsy children, professing your own ignorance to things because you do not think deeply.
This is an enjoyable poisoning of the well. I enjoy this poisoning of the well because it actually helps my side, not hinders it. You teach like clumsy children. That's the poisoning of the well. We can dismiss that because, you know what? Clumsy children might be effective teachers. We don't know. Just saying. But the whole, you profess your ignorance. Dang right I do. I am proud to proclaim that I don't know certain things. And then, after I do that, I want to learn about those things. It's not just, oh, I'm ignorant, and that's the end of that. No, it's, hey, I'm ignorant. I need to learn that. I need to find out more about that. I want to understand that. But I don't mind saying I don't know. What's 4,702 to the power of 75,000? Put the answer in the comments below. I don't know the answer offhand. No idea. But that's okay. I can learn it. I can find out. And I can find out how to do it mathematically in an easier, simpler way, maybe. Or in a different way than anyone else does it. Put multiple ways of how to solve that problem in the comments below. Look, I'm just saying, it's okay to not know. And it's okay to say, I don't know. And we need to get over this already. We need to say, you know what? When you raise your hand in class and you say the wrong thing, that's okay. We need to start teaching that it's okay to be wrong and it's okay to not know things. We need to get over this hurdle, people. We need to accept when we make mistakes. We need to clarify or say, okay, you know what? I was wrong. I see that I'm wrong. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to learn the proper thing, and I'm going to use that proper thing from now on. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Okay? That's what we need to do. So I am proud to say that I am able to profess or proclaim my ignorance, and I'm also proud to say that I'm able to overcome that ignorance with the help of other human beings and or written books that those human beings have written or things online that somebody somewhere wrote, or a combination thereof. And it's no shame to ask for help and understanding certain things about things that I don't understand that much about. But you just haven't thought deeply enough. Look, no matter how deeply I think about something like 4,727 to the power of, I'm going to change this problem now, pi, I'm not going to get to the answer because I don't know the answer. Write the answer in the comments below. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to get to the answer. I'm going to get to things that don't make sense that might never be the answer.
with knowledge, with truth, with wisdom, with the past.
With great power comes great responsibility.
So you dumb bastards have a future.
Hey, that wasn't necessary. That hurt my feelings. The worst part about it is, I don't have anyone to comfort me anymore because my friend left me because I got his name wrong. Because I forgot that his name was Bonsley. And now he's gone. And now he's, hey, Bonsley? And so our tale ends. Deconverted Man and Bonsley have now made up and are good friends once again.
Holy shit!
Let's not repeat the errors of the past. Keep following serpents, and you shall have cold hearts that are stilled. You shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Oh no, how horrible. I won't enter it if I keep following serpents. Oh, woe is me. How horrible.
Some thinkings and some thoughts for you. Be careful what you reap, and what you sow. For you indeed are sowing a very, very lethal society and survival of the fittest mentality.
Look, it's really hard to take you seriously when you keep saying, violence is bad, here's my sword!
I tried the peaceful way once. You saw how well that worked out. So now, start the war with the sword, my lips, and more if required. I hope you found this video enlightening on perspectives of the things that you think and the things that you produce. Farewell.
Deep words of meaningless conflicts in the history of man. Are you not deeper than the winds above you? Although I say things, do they not mean nothing? Oh, Theus, why? Now that I have clarified the misunderstandings of your ways, will you not think about this video? Think deeply then, and think about it some more after that. For only by doing that will you have the water under the bridge and through the road. To grandmother's house we go. This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once more, with feeling. You know, you don't have to go far to learn what it is. Why, there are things you can do right now outside your own
door. You could put a window display on health and safety. Or plan a trip to your dentist to find out what you can do to keep your teeth happy. Or you could eat some pigs while uttering the syllables of teapot. Why yes, you can do all of these things, but only if you subscribe now and like every video that I've done.
Okay, so we have 29 fallacies with 3 formal, and we have an additional probabilistic pluses there that I couldn't even count up properly. And although it is humorous, I do apologize for not being able to have an accurate number for you. It's just impossible to hear this guy, and I know that his audio has been adjusted before, so I need to look into how to adjust people's audio so that I can hear them better and that you can hear them better in the future, but I don't know how to do that right now. But at any rate, no, he don't have a logically coherent argument here, and the best I can figure is that this guy was trying to say that he thinks teaching biological evolution is teaching survival of the fittest, and that means going to war with each other, and that's really bad. Therefore, we shouldn't teach it. I guess that's as close as I can get to what his argument sort of is. And then there's some other things thrown in there, like the Bible might have bloody stuff in it, but it's just their interpretation of it. It's like, that's not really what happened, or, well, you can't complain about it because it's the same thing you teach, or something like that. But no matter what it really was, it's nothing more than an appeal to consequence or a 2Q and the other fallacies as well. But that's what it boils down to, is essentially this appeal to consequence. And this isn't the first time that I've heard an appeal to consequence used as if it's some defense against biological evolution, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that I hear this. It's a logical fallacy. That in and of itself is enough to dismiss the conclusions, even if the science was something that we could question. And it really isn't. The data for biological evolution is simply overwhelming, and that's what it is. To challenge this thing on any ground is just ludicrous, and I really want people to see that. I don't understand why people still do not see it. Perhaps they are paralyzed by fear. I don't know. But we don't have a logically coherent argument here, and unless and until we do, we have to continue to be skeptical of the conclusions. Okay, so appeal to... No, not appeal to. Not even recording anyways.